Chris, thanks for coming in. I mean, a little bit more cash in the pockets of consumers and businesses had the SARB cut interest rates. They didn't. I thought the ground was fertile.
Devin, I have to agree with you. I thought there was an outside chance that they might do it, and that's coming hard on the heels of some of the factors leading up to this. In the last week, for example, we had the Saki Business Confidence Indicator at virtually an all-time low. 30-odd years ago. That was the last time we saw it that low. So confidence really is at incredibly low levels. The last time you had these kind of confidence levels, South Africa was going into sanctions. You had debt moratoria and stuff like that. This is awful. So it's kind of dimensioning how bad things really are out there. And you see it amongst the retailers. We're talking about the consumer here, for example.
Yep.
The JSE retail sector is absolutely bombed out. So you're quite right. I think it was fertile. The question then arises, would 25 basis points have done anything to it? Really? I think it would be absolutely marginal. And I heard you earlier, I saw you on TV earlier, and I think you made the point, you're probably looking at upwards of 100 basis points to make any meaningful and sustainable difference. But frankly, I don't think there's any possibility we're going to get that out of the governor and the MPC, because he's known for being quite hawkish. And you know, if price stability is his main priority, and of course it is, he's been very successful at it. So I think he'll be inclined to keep on that track.
He alluded once again in the address that perhaps, working on the structure of the economy is the way forward. Their business is basically price stability. Consumers need to really rely on plans to get the economy structured in a particular way. I mean, a reference to Tito Mboweni, the finance minister's plan. Incidentally, Chris, we heard the ANC's Jackson Tembu, the minister in the presidency, this afternoon saying that, look, we had a cabinet meeting, spoke about it. We had 700 replies from academics, from general citizens to the structural plan, and he said it's going fruitful. Do you think there's a future in that plan? There's an answer in that plan?
Let me throw it back to you this way. I think that if we don't follow some sort of massive restructuring of this economy and have some structural change, then there is no future. Put it that way, okay? Because I think we've come to the end of the ability of using traditional levers like interest rates and fiscal policy to try and get us out of this mess. What you can see if you graph this is we're chugging along the bottom. And if you look at the governor's forecasts, 0.6 this year, 1.5 next year, 1.8 the year after, that's not where we need to be. We need to be well into 4, 5, 6, 7%. That's where we really, really need to be if we're going to have any chance of reducing our really pernicious and endemic rate of unemployment.
Having said that, Chris, I mean, fair enough. I mean, we cannot use interest rates to prop up this economy in that fashion. But I would argue that perhaps if you look at the banks in the first world, the developed world, they are in cutting mode or posturing themselves in a dovish tone. So we may never get this chance again, at least in the near future, to cut interest rates than we have so now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And if you look, everywhere you look, I mean, you listened to Jay Powell's narrative last night in the US, the rest of the world is gradually reducing rates. Bear in mind also that the governor has, in terms of his price stability primary mandate, the rand is a significant feature of that.
Yeah.
Now, if you start dropping rates too much, don't forget, you're going to start losing a lot of that hot money that's been pouring into South Africa looking for yield. So it's a very, very difficult balance.
Chris Gilbo, thanks very much indeed.